What's up, guys? Specstar here today with my fourth battle for LD, and I'm going up here against Darc, a man who has been around the block a few times. He's been in this league for quite a bit as far as I know. He's been in Masters and Majors, and we're looking to pull off a big W here, trying to move on to 4-0. But standing in our way is his team of Azumarill, Breloom, Megaladios, Mamoswine, Skarmory, and Xurkitree, and I will switch over here to my team. Starting off here, I've got let me pull my damn face away from that. I gotta fix the camera angle, right, yeah, that's why my face was in the way of this set. Starting off here, we got a fairly complex Alakazam set, and I gotta give some shout outs to my boy Vesuvius, who helped me build this set. I was looking at a more offensively invested and set up Zam set. He was the one who sold me on defensive, and we worked out the details of this set. And I have got speed on this thing to outpace Salazzle. I have got a modest nature because it was just the most efficient use of EVs, and the boost in special attack gave me the power to for sure KO Mamoswine after a special attack boost. And then I just put the rest in bulk, physically defensive bulk, which helped me take a few things. One of the key things being a Megaladios' Earthquake. And I've got Calm Mind, Psychic, Recover, Taunt, which of course tells you he does not have a Darc. He dropped his Darc type, although I don't know if we even count Liepard as a Darc type anyway. He dropped that before this game, so we brought this Zam mono-attacking Psychic. His best resist to it is Skarmory, and we had the Taunt for that. And Calm Mind, which let us set up because his team, some of his more speedy offensive mons didn't have the most fun time breaking this with the bulk investment. Next up here, I've got a specially defensive Piloswine, which it forces a Scarf circuitry, which could be fairly annoying if it did come to make some difficult decisions. B, it makes Latios a little bit easier to deal with, and it's a pretty reliable way to get rocks up. Nothing too special about the set. Dual Stab, Rocks, and Toxic, which just hits what this thing doesn't without an attack investment. Next up here, I've got Tapu Fini. Physically defensive, helps me deal with Azumarill a little bit, although not too comfortably. I'm running Taunt, Nature's Madness, Moonblast, and Defog. Defog, just in case he wanted to try to hazard stack. Also, he had a few Pokemon that if they came, but they didn't come, would have made it somewhat comfortable to just get in and defog. Nature's Madness and Moonblast is pretty much what I needed. With Taunt, he had a real hard time switching in on Nature's Madness. It dealt with the bulk of his team fairly well. And by bulk, I mean the bulky Pokemon, not majority of the Mons. Although he did not bring much for bulk in this game, which was interesting. Next up here, I've got a physically defensive Celesteela, Vesipoo the Celesteela. I spoke to my boy, and he said he preferred Vesipoo to Suchan, so I went with Vesipoo, and I'm rocking physically defensive. Just about the most basic OU Celesteela set you've ever seen. I do not have that much explaining to do on this one. I'm not going to get too much question marks about it. Just in this matchup, the best Steela set I saw was the most standard basic bitch Steela set ever. And then next up here, I've got the modest Scarf Tran. I didn't think I needed too much speed in this one in particular. Salazzle is an important benchmark I wanted to hit, and that was what I did creep with this. I'm rocking Overheat, which is just a favorite of mine. It's real good for hit and run set. Dark Pulse hits the Latios above all. Earth Power hits... Oh, god damn it. It hits Salazzle, that's right. And Flash Cannon hits the Mamoswine. And lastly here, we've got Duosion. Heatran's coming to its first game here, and Duosion is coming to its third game here. We're rocking specially defensive with Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Psyshock, Recover. Calm Mind makes this thing not just completely walled by a few things. It, like Porygon 2 in particular, it allows me to just be able to force that thing out. And this thing with Magic Guard does come in fairly comfortably on the Porygon 2. Let me fix my mic because it's bugging my OCD that it's a little bit off. And then Psyshock just makes it easier to deal with things that have special bulk on his team, and maybe even just break a Latios sub if I have to and we get into a Calm Mind War, things like that. Maybe even potentially win it if it does not have its own Psyshock. And that is my team here. So starting off, I really liked Heatran's matchup. It covered Xurkitree, covered Mamoswine, covered Skarmory, and covered Breloom. So I thought Heatran was a good lead here. He leads off with Mamoswine. I mean, that was a real possibility. I lead off with Heatran. What is there to do but click a Scarf Flash Cannon, Heatran, and then takes down the Mamoswine. And I got a little cheeky in here, and I post in the chat, "Oh, slow Mamo." Just in case he really was slow Mamo, I could try to play some mind games there and not fully reveal Scarf, because I'm a little bit of a dick, which is, yeah, that's something I'm sure some of you know. Here comes in the Xurkitree, and I will be forced out. Talked a bit about some of its sets it could be, and if it is Scarf or if it is sub 3 attack, the best thing I have to bring in on is going to be Duosion. So I will bring in the Duosion. He shows Tail Glow, which was the worst case scenario, but not necessarily the end of the world. I know that if he's timid, Duosion has a pretty good chance to survive a Thunderbolt, so I'm just going to go for Psyshock to get it in range of Zam and make sure Heatran is 100% able to KO it. He goes for Thunderbolt. Duosion does survive it. It was a roll in my favor for that. I think it was, what was it, like 89 to 105 or something like that. But we do fortunately get the roll, and we get it for sure in range of Zam. Either way, we would have needed a really low roll with Heatran's Overheat for the thing to be able to have a chance to survive, assuming it had the type of bulk where it was just creeping Heatran. Anyway, enough rambling here. I get the damage, and then I'm just going to let the Duosion go down here. I guess there's no saving it at that point. I'm going to bring in my Zam and just click Psychic. He doesn't switch in on it too comfortably. He's going to go out into a Skarmory, which isn't overly scary to me. I do have the Taunt. I get a special defense drop, but it's not really the end of the world since I have Taunt. I always beat that. He shows Pursuit, which is pretty good prep on his behalf. If I did bring a more offensive variant of Alakazam like I was planning on originally, that would have been pretty effective against it, I think. So definitely interesting there, but since I am bulky, we are having no problems with that. I'm just going to keep Psychicking now that he's taunted. He's going to go for Brave Bird, and I'm just going to recover up here. He goes for Pursuit, and here I could have just taken the thing out, and maybe I should have, but I was kind of thinking about the idea of it maybe being an Assault Vest, and then maybe I could get Calm Minds up, and I thought I wasn't risking too much. But in hindsight, I probably should have just clicked Psychic. Not the biggest difference maker potentially in the game, but just a nice distinction to make for anyone watching this. I think it might have been a bit better of a play for me to click the Psychic here. But I'm going to play around with Recover and Calm Mind, and he's actually going to get one layer of Spike Up. I knew he was going to be forced to attack me since I got the Calm Mind. He couldn't let me get a second one since it could become more dangerous to his team. Here he's going to bring in Azumarill, and Azumarill, Alakazam had a chance to take it out only if it had absolutely no bulk, but I did expect Azumarill to be Assault Vest, so that was out the window right away for me. And I'm going to switch Harden my Feeny on this thing, which is the closest thing I have to switching on it. He's going to go for Liquidation, not do much. That looks like Jolly 252. I'm going to defog because he's not doing that much, and I thought it was more important for me to get rid of the hazard. He goes for Play Rough. I'm going to click Nature's Madness just to get some important chip on this thing. Unfortunately, if it is Assault Vest, I cannot bring Alakazam in here, so I'm going to have to go into my Celesteela and click my Heavy Slam. I'm max physically defensive, so I shouldn't take too much from it. Liquidation will do a fairly healthy amount. I'm going to Protect just to get a little bit of recovery here. He goes for Liquidation, and now he's going to go down to the Heavy Slam as I take a little bit of chip from Aqua Jet. I'm going to get my boost, but it doesn't mean much since Circuitry is going to be coming in. And here I'm going to switch into Piloswine. I'll explain the Piloswine play a little bit. Piloswine, just the least important. And Piloswine's the least important, and if he did make the... Well, I wouldn't call it a choke, but if he did make what I think would be the wrong play and going right for the Thunderbolt, then Piloswine was going to work out there for me and kind of let Piloswine put a little pressure on. But overall, it was just the least important of the 4 Pokemon I had, so I was most willing to risk letting it go down. He's going to go for Energy Ball, bop the Piloswine, but here I'm going to bring in my Alakazam. I could have also went into Heatran. The reason I went to Alakazam is I was thinking, completely depending on his sets, I might have been able to win if I trace Beast Boost. So that's why I went into Zam there. I'm going to trace the Beast Boost and go right for my Psychic here. He's going to go into Latios. I'll get a little bit of chip on that. I'm going to click Recover because if he clicks Draco Meteor here, I'm going to want to be at full health. I can take one at full health and then I'll be able to recover up. That's my process there. He's going to go double right into Breloom. Breloom, not overly scary to Zam. I guess it could have been something like Sash Spore, but I wasn't really sure how much he'd want to be banking on Spore against a team with Misty Terrain. So I'm just going to go for my Psychic here, assuming that more or less this was kind of a sack off for his Breloom. And he's going to show to be pretty damn bulky with Papaya Berry, and he's going to get a throw off a Bullet Seed. Fortunately, it only lands twice. I think I would have been okay if it landed twice or 3 times. 4 times... I don't know if 4 times would have put me in range of Mach Punch. I genuinely don't know. But fortunately, it does land twice, and I'm able to take the thing out on the next turn with Psychic. I will get my Beast Boost here, which is good. He brings in Latios, and my play here is just to recover up. He's going to go for Calm Mind here, and I'm going to think that my play here is to Taunt and force the thing to click Draco. The biggest mistake I could make was letting this thing continue to Calm Mind up, where it could get to the point where Heatran wasn't doing enough to it with Dark Pulse. So with that in mind, I'm going to Taunt it here. He's going to go for Earthquake, which is fine with me. I'm going to click Psychic here because that is a really important chip for me to get on this thing. I need to get it chipped down and get it in range of Dark Pulse. He's going to go for Earthquake here. Not doing too much. I'm just going to keep recovering up. He's going to go for the Draco Meteor here, but let me explain something. I made a misplay here. After this turn, so what I should have done here is click Psychic, and I would have for sure done Latios in range of Heatran's Dark Pulse and set Heatran up to clean. The reason I didn't and I instead went for Recover was I miscalced the Latios. I calced it without the special defense boost, which amateur hour, am I right? And I thought that it was already in range of Dark Pulse, and that was a mistake I made in this game. And after I figured out that I made the mistake, I was very pissed at myself, but I just had to keep going in the game. So explaining it for you guys, I definitely should have clicked Psychic in here just to safely establish a win condition with Heatran. Instead, I'm going to click Recover. Yeah, but that's why we happens to the best of us. I should know because I am the best of us. But he'll take me down here, and my play now is to go into Celesteela since he has a reduced special attack. And I'm going to go with my Celesteela. I know I take a Thunderbolt from this thing, which is significant, very important actually. I can't let him recover up and then to KO me with Thunderbolt here, so I have to go immediately for Heavy Slam. I could have also immediately went for Leech Seeds, but if I missed, that wouldn't have been good. And if he was Roost, he hasn't shown his last move, and I don't know what it is. So there's a real possibility it wasn't Roost. And then my play here, the way I see it, is I go for Heavy Slam here. If he does show Roost, then the next turn I will click Leech Seeds because I know it can't touch me. And then I'll do that. But here, his last move could very well be Thunderbolt, and my smartest, safest play is to click Heavy Slam. So he's going to switch out into Circuitry here, and I'll get good damage off on that thing. I know that if this thing takes down my Celesteela, I send out Heatran, I click Dark Pulse twice, and I win. So the only condition I can really set up for myself where I lose this is if I switch Harden to Heatran and get paralyzed. So I will just click Heavy Slam here, and if he wants to kill me, he can. He'll go for Thunderbolt, he'll take down my Celesteela. Now Heatran's going to come in and click Dark Pulse twice. I'll kill the Circuitry. Latios comes in. Latios is going to drop 2, and we are fortunate enough to move on to 4-0 plus 14. And that was a pretty damn good game, if I do say so myself. I'm going to say GG to Darc. I am a little bit embarrassed about making that misplay with Zam, but you know, it managed to not cost me, so you know, you take those W's. And yeah, well, that's going to be it for this battle. I should pull up my stats, right. So my stats now, Celesteela is going to move on to 9 KOs, 2 deaths, still by far leading the team. Alakazam's going to be in second with 4 KOs and 1 death. Heatran now in its first game moves up to third with 3 KOs and no deaths. And then just Zygarde and Piloswine tied for 2 next. So those are my updated stats, and that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.